Namaste. Welcome to your Yoga Nidra practice. I'm really excited to be able to be here and teach from the Gold Coast, to still be part of the in yoga community and be able to keep sharing all these practices with you. We're going to be looking in our Yoga Nidra practice to connect to the breath, but more to connect to the energetic part of the breath. Feel it more as a pranic experience more than a physical experience. It's important in Yoga Nidra that we find a very comfortable place to be. So the idea is that the body can relax completely and that we stay awake. So I'm just going to show you a really good way, the way that I like to practice Yoga Nidra. You can just simply lie on the mat and just in Shavasana, and that can be your practice, or you can make it a little bit more comfortable. So I like to have, it can be a blanket, a folded blanket. It can be a little cushion that's not too high. It can be a very thin pillow. And that's going to be for us to rest our head, because we're going to be here for 20 to 30 minutes. So it's good to have something that's going to help us support the head. Sometimes it can feel quite hard on the floor. And if you have a bolster, or if you have a pillow, a really thick pillow, or a couple of pillows, you can bring them and place them underneath your knees just to support the lumbar area. You're going to notice that once you lie down and once you bring the legs to rest on the bolster, that is going to feel very comfortable for the lumbar area to rest on the earth. And if you have an eye pillow or something to cover your eyes, feel free to place it over the eyes. It can be just as simple as a little towel or something. This is quite heavy, and I know for some people it can be quite uncomfortable after a while. So it can be something as just like a little towel or cloth or anything that you might have at home. What is good about covering the eyes is that it can help you soften the muscles around the eyes, around the area around the eyes. And if you need to cover yourself, like it's quite warm in the Gold Coast this morning, so see how it feels where you are and see if you need a blanket to cover yourself. Feel free as well to feel very spacious. I usually like to take a lot of space, opening the legs wider than usual, maybe the arms as well, and just relaxing the shoulders here. So find your pose. And feel free to take any wiggles to find a really comfortable place, a really comfortable and a spacious and relaxing place for your practice. And we want to commit to the practice so much that we find as much stillness as we can. So this is a really good moment to wiggle, to find your Shavasana in a very comfortable place. And I know the mind can sometimes be a little bit, like a bit hard for the mind to find a really comfortable place. So just be okay with that. And once you are ready, finding stillness and allowing your awareness to start to move inwards, to observe the physical body, and to slowly travel through every single part of the body, just to make sure that there is not any unnecessary tension. And if you find any unnecessary tension or resistance, then you simply stay in that place for a little longer, holding the intention to really let go. And just allowing the whole body to be received by gravity. And begin to connect and observe the breath. Really, the way we get to observe the breath is by just simply noticing the sensations and noticing what happens in the physical body. So, just noticing the air coming in through the nostrils and traveling down, ideally all the way down into the belly. And as you exhale, noticing how the air travels up the throat and out through the nostrils. Noticing the parts of the body that expand and contract, the parts of the body that move and that are involved in the breathing process. Just becoming aware of what is real, and our breath is very real. Really deep abdominal breath, and trying to keep the breath very quiet and very gentle. So it's deep and long, but at the same time, it's very quiet and it's very gentle. There's not tension in the breath. And we try to make the inhale and the exhale the same length without really overthinking here, just simply feeling the breath and finding a rhythm in your breath. In, out, without any pauses, very fluid. There is really not beginning or end in the breath. So we start to get the mind to flow with the breath here. And now with the next inhalation, we're going to guide the breath from the toes all the way up to the crown of the head. And with the exhalation, we feel the breath traveling down from the crown of the head all the way down to the toes, the tip of the toes. And you just continue this way, just feeling this wave of energy as you inhale, moving up through the whole body, all the way up to the crown. And as you exhale, just feeling how there is energy and awareness that moves from the crown of the head all the way down to the toes. And you continue this way, inhaling, feeling a wave of consciousness and awareness moving up to the crown. And then as you exhale, moving down. And remember always to keep the breath very quiet and to keep the breath fluid, so gapless, no pauses, and very fluid in and out. And you continue in breath, awareness, energy moving up, this ascending force, and exhale, awareness, energy moving down, finding the descending force. The breath creates a wave of movement. Very quiet breath, very smooth, balanced. Now, with the next inhale, we move again back to the crown. And with the exhalation, we move the awareness down to the ankles. So this time we don't get all the way down to the toes, just the ankles. Inhale, you feel a wave of consciousness, a wave of awareness moving up to the crown, this ascending force. And then as you exhale, moving all your awareness and the breath all the way back down to the ankles. Completely effortless, guiding a fluid breath. As you inhale, you feel the energy moving up, and exhale, moving down to the ankles. Mind and breath becoming one. And continue guiding the breath and guiding the internal gaze up with the inhalation, down to the ankles with the exhalation. As you inhale, awareness moves up to the top of the head, the crown of the head. And as you exhale, this time we take the breath all the way down to the knees. So as you inhale, the breath moves up to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, the breath and the awareness moves down to the knees. Effortless breath, fluid breath, just allowing the mind and the breath to become one. Even starting to feel as if the mind is simply watching and simply observing this movement. So in that way, we can allow the mind and the breath to become one. Just simply noticing the breath and allowing your awareness to move, to go with the breath. Breathing in, moving the breath up, breathing out, moving the breath down, all the way down to the knees. And always after the inhale, straight away starts the breath in, out, no pauses. Now inhaling, moving the breath to the crown. And as you exhale this time, take your awareness down to the pelvic floor. So as you inhale, prana, awareness, mind, breath, energy moving up to the top of the head. And as you exhale, moving all the way down to the pelvic floor. Noticing the inhalation, taking the awareness up, and the exhalation, taking the awareness down. And you start to notice that the space starts to get shorter, but as the space starts to get shorter, then the breath becomes lighter, very light and soft. And you notice this rising, this movement, moving up as you inhale and down, and the falling and the dropping as you exhale. Ascending and descending forces. Inhaling to the crown, exhaling to the pelvic floor. And you continue this way, inhaling up to the crown, exhaling down to the pelvic floor. 3 more rounds, inhaling up to the crown, taking your time, exhaling down to the pelvic floor. You follow your own breath to inhale and move your awareness all the way up to the top of the head. And exhaling, moving down, finding the pelvic floor. And then inhaling again, taking your awareness all the way up to the crown. And exhaling this time, moving your awareness down to the navel center. So inhaling up to the crown, exhaling down to the navel. Letting the breath and your mind move together, one singular string. And there's not need to overthink it. You just feel it and sense it and experience it. It's really not way to do this right or wrong. This is a very individual process. And we just hold that intention to connect mind and breath and to really sense the breath as a pranic force. Moving up with the inhalation from the navel all the way up to the top of the head, and with the exhalation moving down to the navel. And your own breath becomes that internal guide, becomes that inner teacher. So all you do is just follow your own breath, follow your own rhythm, so the mind can really connect to the breath here. Take another breath this way, inhaling up to the crown, exhaling down to the navel. And then taking another inhalation to move back up to the crown. And this time with the exhalation, we move down to the center of the chest. Inhaling up to the crown of the head. And exhaling down to the center of the chest. And you continue with your own breath. Moving up with the breath in and down with the breath out. Just feeling the breath becoming lighter as the space gets shorter. And you pretty much just start to feel energy moving up and down, from the crown to the center of the chest, and from the center of the chest up to the crown. And you simply observing this movement of energy up and down. And just feeling as if breath had its own intelligence that helps the breath to keep moving. Just witnessing this pranic intelligence that takes over. Just feeling the movement up, that ascending force with the inhale and down to the center of the chest with the exhalation. With the next inhalation, moving up to the crown of the head, and with the exhalation, moving down to the center of the throat. Up with the inhalation to the crown, and down to the throat with the exhale. Noticing this pranic wave that continues to move with the breath. Crown to throat, throat to crown. Ascending with the inhale, descending with the exhalation. Three more cycles of breath here. Inhaling, moving up to the crown. Exhaling down to the center of the throat. Breathing in and out. Last inhalation here. Deep exhale. Now with the next inhale, move back to the crown. This time with the exhalation, move to the midbrain, so the space behind the eyebrow center. Inhaling up, crown. Exhaling down, midbrain. And you start to feel like this little pulsation. The breath becomes just this pranic pulsation, this energy pulsating, very light. This pranic intelligence is creating the movement. The breath becomes so light that it's almost not existence. It's super light. It's just this energy that pulsates. Crown to midbrain, midbrain to crown. And I very slowly start to let go of the technique. And we just rest beyond the body, beyond the mind. We just allow here the breath to be completely natural, and there's nothing for you to do or change. Simply resting here. Complete silence, complete stillness. Then I very slowly come back to notice your breath, belly breath. deepening your breath. So the breath invites you to come back to your physical body. Just acknowledging here that your being is designed to live this physical experience and this physical world at the same time as living in this pranic, this subtle world. And start to bring little flickerings back into the toes and the fingers. And stretching your body in a way that feels right to stretch, very intuitive, as if it was your first time waking up. And very slowly draw the knees into your chest and roll onto one side, your favorite side. Take a couple of breaths there to slowly make your way up. So we find a comfortable seat. And once you find a comfortable seat, bring the palms together and let's just rub here the hands together, generating heat and energy in between the hands. And place your hands on your eyelids, just covering the eyes with your palms. And as you keep the eyes covered with your palms, very slowly open your eyes, taking all the energy that we generated in between the hands, and then close the eyes again. Bring the hands together in front of the heart and let your head bow towards the heart. Namaste.